Welcome to Global Frequencies, World Refugee Day 2023 edition. Designated by the United Nations, days like World Refugee Day are meant to draw global attention on the plight of those fleeing conflict or persecution. Each year on June 20th, the world celebrates World Refugee Day, the international day to honor people who have been forced to flee. According to the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, together, we can champion their right to seek safety, build support for their economic and social inclusion, and advocate for solutions to their plight. And we agree. This year's theme is Hope Away from Home. Today we wish to highlight one refugee's journey to Newfoundland and Labrador to start their new life. I am your host, Renata Lang. Welcome Yasemin Zaki. This is her story, her journey. Let's get to know Yasemin. In January, Yasemin started ESL ABE Level 1 here with us at ANC. From the very first day, Yasemin proved her academic and English proficiency, and we realized she was definitely ready to transition into a college program as soon as possible. Keene College worked closely with the ANC to get the documents that allowed her to earn a full scholarship to the software development program. She started quite recently on May 1st and has had a lot of success so far. She's excited about a future career in this field and this opportunity she has worked so hard for. Yasemin, thank you for being here and sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Let's start with that big question. Where are you from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Have you lived in Afghanistan your whole life? What was your journey before coming to Canada?
I wasn't there my whole life back to Afghanistan, but I was in my teenage that I left my country, my home country. I became a refugee back to India, so I was there about 7 years.
In India?
Yeah.
What part of India did you live in?
I was in New Delhi, which is the capital of India.
Oh,
yeah.
A big, bustling, very busy place.
Yeah, very crowded and very multicultural out there.
Can you tell us more about your time living in New Delhi in India?
Living in India has been really like a good advantage because I knew the language first of all, so I didn't had any problem with language.
What was the language, if I might ask, that you already had that was spoken in New Delhi?
It's Hindi.
Hindi,
Yeah.
So you already knew Hindi?
Yeah.
When did you begin learning English?
When I was back to India, so where I was working in an organization, so there we had to speak the English language most of the time. So there I got that confidence to never give up and speak fluent.
And how was your family's experience living in India? What did the rest of the journey look like?
First of all, like being a refugee is not easy. Living in a different environment where you, like most of the people, they don't know the language. Like it's a different culture, different people. You have to deal with harassment, racism, everything is including being a refugee. So I had a really difficult time, if I would say. I lost my 3 family members, my sister, my brother, and my mother. And it hasn't been so easy for me. So, but I never give up, and I stood up, and then I continued my life as always. But living as a refugee, first of all, it make you depressed. You would have, like most of the people that I have experienced and I had in that environment, had like 90% of people had depression. They were going through a very bad situation, and I was among them.
So when did the opportunity come for you to leave India? What did that look like for you and some of your family?
Since the UNHCR knew about our situation, that how we are handling, how we are coming through and to overcome. After that, like UNHCR called us that we are getting settled to this country. So we got excited, and we were upset to leaving that country because we had 3 family members over there. We didn't want it that, but it was in our destiny, and we can't change that, right?
So how long have you been in Canada now? So you were in India for 7 years, then the UNHCR has brought you.
Yes.
And which of your family members have joined you in Canada?
I'm here with my sister-in-law and their 4 children.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nieces and nephews?
Yes,
of
I
yours?
have 3 nephews and 1 niece.
And 1 niece.
Yeah.
How long have you been living in Canada? And now?
It's been, I think, about 9 months.
9
Yeah.
months.
It's not too long.
Not too long at
Yeah.
all. And look, we're already getting the opportunity to
Yes.
become acquainted with you. What does life look like for you now in Newfoundland and Labrador?
I would say that I'm living my dream life. There are many people who wants the same life like me. I'm really grateful for having those patients that I like, which brought me here today, and I'm getting reward what I have done in my past. So I'm really grateful for having such a positive, such a good people around me. I would say that there is nothing that I can be regret. I'm living the best life.
We talked a little bit earlier about your experience when you were taking the ESL, EAL classes
Yes.
here at ANC, and a teacher that really helped launch you for your potential. Can you
Yes.
tell us more about that?
After January, I was doing my ABE, some of my school subjects, and then one of my teachers, her name is Mackenzie. She has been the best. Like she with everyone, but especially with me. Like she knew that I'm capable. She knew that I can do more than what I'm here right now. So she helped me throughout this journey, and accepting in the college, fully scholarship. Yeah,
Wow.
this has been very.
So that scholarship sounds like not only is a big sense of pride
Yeah.
for you to be able to achieve, but it's something that you feel is doing more for your future.
Definitely.
Yeah. So how has that scholarship impacted you now?
Definitely, I would say that this opportunity has been changed my life. I'm looking forward to have the future that I want.
You're in Newfoundland and Labrador, which I'm sure you've heard from many people
Yes.
is a very unique place.
Definitely.
The dialect, the environment, and the weather.
Yes.
Very unique. What do you love? Despite being so different from both, I'm sure, Afghanistan and New Delhi, India, what have you grown to love about Newfoundland and Labrador?
I think Newfoundland has they have more opportunities for education and for living purpose. It's more affordable, and you would have a very bright future.
What does that World Refugee Day mean to you?
First of all, refugee is a survival. Refugee is someone who has been forced to leave their country. Refugee is an empowerment. Refugee is heartbroken. Refugee is pain. So the World Refugee Day is the day that we remind ourselves and the world that to encourage each other and being kind, and to see that how the refugee is, and how the pain that they are dealing, and how they are, and it's for everyone, and it's awareness. Like we celebrate and we encourage everyone that to be strong and live their
There are
life.
so many takeaways of what you just said for us. So many lessons for long-time residents, for Canadians to learn from you
Yes.
about the refugee experience. What is one piece of advice that you would give to other refugees or newcomers to Canada?
I think the best advice would be, like, first of all, if they're coming to Canada, they should feel safe, like their home, because Canada is one of the safest country in the world. So first of all, you should feel safe that you're coming to Canada. Start with your education, with your language if you don't know the language. So that would be the best advice.
As we finish our time here together, Yasemin, how would you create awareness for local people about the refugee experience?
I would say that I know that refugees, because they have overcome from very bad condition or situation back to the country that they were living. So sometimes they are being extra rude, or they are being impatient in some situations. So we should always understand them as a refugee, because they have came through in a very bad environment. So we should understand them and guide them however we can. Or if somebody doesn't know the language, we should try to help them in any places that we could.
Patience and compassion. It sounds like are good qualities that we can employ as a local people who are interacting, supporting, and welcoming refugees. Thank you, Yasemin Zaki, for sharing this with us and our listeners. It has been a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
That's it today for the World Refugee Day 2023 edition of the ANC's Global Frequencies. If you have any questions or need our help, please contact us at ancnl.ca. I'm your host, Renata Lang. We'll see you next time.